How it all began. Over the years, I have asked the pupils coming into my classes what they wanted to teach their dogs. The answer that topped the list was to walk nicely on a leash. Next on the list were to stop jumping on people, to come when called, followed by a variety of other things. However, walking nicely was definitely the winner. Very understandable. I can't think of anything more annoying than walking a dog that is pulling away or lunging at dogs and bicycles. It can also be quite dangerous. One winter some years ago, it was icy everywhere. It was difficult to stand up in the icy conditions and virtually impossible to hold dogs if they were pulling on a leash. People were frequently falling over and breaking their bones. It was then that I made up my mind to look into and develop a method for teaching dogs to walk nicely on a loose leash and to prevent pulling if the dogs were to forget to keep the leash slack. Of course, dogs can forget even if they have learned something well. We all forget sometimes. Dogs are no different from us in that way. I wanted to find a kind method, one that did not hurt, frighten, or stress the dogs, and most of the methods I had seen until then were not gentle. I got the chance a little later while attending a one-year instructor course at Gro Rudelen Veterinary Clinic outside Oslo. We were asked to choose a project to work on for the year, and being a practical person, I, of course, had to pick a practical project. I chose to develop a method for teaching dogs to walk nicely on leashes. It turned out to be great fun. I advertised for guinea pigs and received 204 replies right away, people who had dogs with a variety of pulling problems. The youngest was a collie pup of 4 months of age. The oldest, a Norwegian elk hound who was 14 years old. All kinds of breeds, all ages, and types of dogs were represented, along with all kinds of pulling problems. To make the project work feasible and to get some valid results, I had to make the study rigid. Statistics are important to people, and I needed results that could be used and referred to. In its simplicity, I wanted to try out the following plan. Ignoring any unwanted behavior by standing still whenever the dog pulled on leash. Doing nothing apart from preventing the dog from being able to pull. Praising and rewarding the dog for walking nicely with the handler. In order to get valid results, we chose one particular stretch of the road and counted every time the dog made the leash tight. The method was very simple and quite inflexible. It has been developed further and has been modified since then, as I will show later. Every dog taking part in the project was represented by its own graphic curve, where the number of times it had pulled on the leash was marked each day, from day 1 to day 30. When everything was finished, there were 196 curves, one for each dog finishing the project. They were so alike that I could have laid them on top of each other and made a carbon copy of the first one. Then I made an average graph, which you can view in the accompanying PDF. On average, there were more than 70 pulls on a leash on the first day. After 30 days, the average number of pulls on the same stretch of road had dropped to only 1, and that pull was barely noticeable. After this project, I was sure I was on the road to success. However, I had to adjust the method a little. I would have to start off by making it easier for the dogs to avoid becoming stressed, and making it easier for people to learn how to do it. Little by little, I tried out and developed my technique until I had refined it so well that it's become the method I use today. I have taught it to people all over the world, and now feel satisfied with it. It is simple enough for everybody to be able to use with minimum help of explanation, and is also simple enough for dogs to learn quickly. The feedback I receive is sometimes almost ecstatic, such as, "I just love that leash work of yours." I am happy about this, as it often means a better life for a dog. Let's look at this method now.